got questions.
Okay, well, I think any time that you can win a game and win it in pretty dominating fashion, that's a positive. At the same time, I was disappointed the way we played offensively, for sure. I thought that defensively we played pretty well for the most part. We did miss some opportunities, missed a couple turnovers we could have had, missed a few tackles, some organizational stuff. We had to burn a couple timeouts there in the second half with 10 on the field. All that stuff should get worked out and get better. So we've got to make a ton of progress from week 1 to week 2 as the competition will continue to ratchet up each week we play. For as many guys as we had returning on offense, that was a pretty sloppy performance.
Okay, questions, please raise your hand. Got a microphone.
Coach, talking about the offensive performance in the first half, it seemed like a lot of the offense was a result of individual plays rather than, offensive line, so forth.
I don't know about that. I mean, you had long runs on the pitch, and they knocked the corner and the safety down. You had some couple of quarterback draws where they got people blocked. I mean, it was just inconsistent. I wouldn't blame just the offensive line. There was more than enough to go around.
Defensively, you made the kind of plays you were looking for when you hired Nate in terms of creating turnovers, some pressure, that kind of thing. And you also played a ton of guys on that side of the ball as well. Kind of what were your thoughts on how the defense performed today?
Well, I thought overall, it's like I told our defense after the game. I mean, if you don't give up any points, you're probably not ever going to lose, right? So that was a positive. At the same time, we want our standard to be we missed some opportunities. I thought in the second half we let them string some first downs together. They had a couple of drives where they had 3 or 4 first downs. That I challenged our guys on defense at halftime to try to not let them cross midfield, and we didn't do that. But all in all, I mean, defensively the effort was certainly better than the offense.
Coach, there was a lot of flux with your kickers last season, and it feels like you're kind of back to square one with regards to that. You're in a similar situation. Were you more impressed by King or Davis in this game?
Brandon King's the kicker. Moving forward, he's the kicker.
For both kickoffs and
Nope.
West, they'll do that.
Well, it'll be between him and Sean.
If you have questions, please raise your hand so I can get a microphone.
I guess we saw the good and bad of having a freshman returner in terms of the punt. He had one nice one.
I wanted to put him back there this game because I thought it would be a good audition for him. And he's a little bit of a loose cannon back there, but you could see on the one return that he's got tons of ability, and he'll get much better from game 1 to game 2 in that. I mean, that was his first game. I didn't want his first game to be on the road or here when we played Clemson. So that's an evaluation thing. I think he's probably a better punt returner than kickoff returner, but he can be good at both.
Coach, what do you think of passing game today overall?
I thought it was lousy. Threw the ball lousy. The second drive of the second half, I wanted to throw the ball down the field, and they were able to do that. Now, we hit a scramble play for the touchdown. But he did hit a couple of throws. He hit an out over there to Jalen. He hit a little drag to Quay and some outs. But all in all, it wasn't up to speed. It wasn't up to my standards.
Regarding the offense, you said it was inconsistent. Obviously, the turnovers stick out. What else did you see beyond that was?
I guess I got a high standard. I don't know. We punted the ball one time. I just didn't like the way we played. I didn't think we were consistent. I just didn't like the way we played, considering who we were playing. We didn't throw the ball well. We didn't block well. We turned too many guys loose inside at times. Got too much pressure when we did try to throw. We didn't throw well. So, I mean, we converted some third downs and we scored. We should. We should be able to move the ball and beat those guys.
It seemed like there were some interesting calls in terms of officiating at times, the pass interference one.
Not going to get me on that one. Next.
Coach, on Quan's final series where you threw the ball out, were you just trying to get him into a rhythm?
Just trying to get some confidence, and we're going to have to be able to throw the ball when we play better teams. And we need to be consistent, just trying to get him some confidence and the routes and the receivers, the pass protection, the whole 9 yards.
Coach, what was your thoughts on Cravante Benson today and his performance and how you felt he played?
I thought Cravante played pretty well. I mean, he's a hard guy to tackle, and when I watched the tape, I know we kept turning the linebacker loose on him. He just made the guy miss about every other time. I think every time we ran to the right, we turned the linebacker loose.
Coach, to piggyback on that, talk about Jordan Mason and starting out. He did
I
very
mean, he
well.
started out the first series. He got some nice runs and made some nice cuts, and he did some good things. He'll learn from that. It was his first game. Down on the goal line, we struggled a little bit trying to run the thing inside when it was supposed to go outside. And those guys who haven't played, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He hadn't played. Those guys that have played for 2 and 3 years, they don't get the benefit of the doubt.
It's been a rough year for David Curry in terms of a year ago getting injured and then getting injured again in camp. I imagine it had to be good to see him get the scoop.
Yeah, it's great he was really making progress before when he got hurt, and he's got a lot of athletic ability. He's got good speed, can run. He was Johnny on the spot there, and got to pick it up and score. And we'll watch the tape. I know he made a couple tackles. I know I saw him overrun a couple, but he's going to get better the more he plays too. That was his first time playing in a long time, so I think he's definitely got the ability to help us there, and hopefully he'll continue to grow like everybody else.
Couple more for Coach.
Coach, overall in the heat today and going to South Florida next week, were you satisfied with the conditioning of your players?
For the most part, I mean, I think that game shape, you have to get into game shape. It's hard. If you haven't played, it's hard to explain, but you can run all you want, but it's a difference when you play in the game and the adrenaline and everything's going. But we'll grade the tape on effort and take a look at it. But all in all, I know there was a couple guys got tired, but I don't think it was too bad.
Coach, you talk about a couple of guys in the secondary, Caleb Oliver and Christian Campbell. What you saw of them today, and how?
Yeah. Well,
secondary
Christian
was?
played mostly stinger, which is an outside linebacker. And he made a couple of nice plays. I know he had a couple tackles for loss. Caleb had the nice pick, and he made several tackles, so it was good for him. That was his first game. He redshirted a year ago, and I think like all those guys, the more he plays, the better he's going to get. He's got a lot of athletic ability.
Can you talk a little bit about Tobias? Obviously, not playing with the first offensive line and first skill guys. That's
Well,
a tough
Tobias
spot.
did a great job on the drive, taking the ball down. He was elusive, running the ball down and getting it to the goal line. I was a little disappointed with the fourth down play. But, Tobias is very capable. I got confidence in him in the option game. And like I said, the fumble on the pitch, I'm not sure was his fault.